guys again. Good evening, everyone. My name is Alexandra Holt. I'm the Budget Director of the City of Chicago.
I'm Carol Brown. I'm the CFO for the City of Chicago.
So for the next 10, 15 minutes at most, Carol and I are going to give you a little bit of background on the city's budget, information about where budget money comes from, where it goes to, some of the reforms that have been adopted over the past 4 years, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the challenges ahead. So, but before we do that, I want to give you a little bit of background on the city's budget, just a couple of facts. So the city's budget, our fiscal year is the calendar year, so January 1 to December 30. We're required to have a balanced budget by state law, meaning that our revenues that come in have to match what we're planning to spend in the coming year. In addition to that, we've got to have the budget for 2016 passed and adopted by City Council before the end of this year. The city's budget in 2015 was about $8.9 billion. That's for everything the city does. So our water and sewer system, our police department, our fire department, our libraries, our health department, our airports, all of that. It does not, however, include schools or CHA or CTA or any of the sister agencies. If you include all of them together, we've got about $18 billion. But the core city budget, which we're here to solicit your information and your ideas on tonight, is about $8.9 billion. In terms of where the money comes from, I know there's a lot of words on this slide, but I'm going to break it down into a couple of categories. There are 3 basic buckets. First one is tax revenue. Utility taxes, property taxes, income taxes. All of those pay for core city services. So when you think about police, fire, or garbage collection, all of that comes from taxes. Some of it comes from fees, like building fees, or if the city owns property that it leases. That's about $5 billion worth of those core services. The second group is our water, sewer, and airports. Those are self-sustaining, meaning that they're fully paid for by the fees that people pay to use those services. So, for example, the water and sewer department fully paid for by water and sewer bills. About 30% of our budget, or $2.5 billion. The final group is grants. We got about $1.5 billion in grants in 2015, mostly from the federal government, for community services, for early learning programs for kids, as well as money to repair our bridges and our roads. And then finally, where the money goes. And again, there's like a lot of words on it, but the biggest category is really public safety, so police, fire, and 911. It's about $2 billion worth of money spent on those services. Other big categories are infrastructure, so when you think about our roads or lighting or our streets or garbage collection, about $900 million spent on that. There's about $500 million spent on community services, so libraries, the health department, family services, services for kids. And then there's also about $600 million in our water and sewer system. The final thing I would say on this before I turn it over to Carol is when we look at our budget as a whole, about 70% of it is wages and benefits for employees, which makes sense when you think about the fact that most of what the city delivers in terms of services is delivered through a person. The remaining amount is things like electricity to run our water treatment plants, or it's diesel fuel for our snow plows, or it's grants that we give to community groups for after school and summer programs. I think at this point I'll turn it over to Carol.
Thanks, Alex. I wanted to kind of set up for you the budget challenges that we're facing this year and that the city has been facing for over a decade. For over a decade, we've been dealing with an operating shortfall. And you can see from this chart the severity of that shortfall over the last 10 years. But we've made progress. Since the mayor took office, we've been able to cut into the operating deficit that the city has faced. As a result, in 2016, we're going from a deficit in 2011 that was $654 million to a deficit this year of $232 million. And some of the progress that we've made in addressing the deficit comes from making a lot of hard choices and from adopting some reforms that have resulted in savings. So in 2012, we were able to identify reforms and savings of $246 million, and we continue to do that every year. And that's come from doing things like making core services more efficient, such as instituting grid garbage, consolidating duplication of function, and saving over $200 million in personnel expenses. So we faced this year, after dealing with and addressing a lot of our savings, we faced this year a $232 million deficit. And we also faced the obligation of funding increased pension contributions for our 2015 obligations and our 2016 police and fire. We also are dealing with legacy debt, and those pension payments and liabilities continue to grow. And under that backdrop, that is the challenge that we're facing as we listen to your ideas about the budget, the challenges that we and everyone that works for the city are facing in trying to address our budget issues. And with that, I'd like to turn it back over to Avis, and she can start with her